In this video, we discuss either using intuition or rationality when making decisions. So, what does it mean to be intuitive or rational? Well, a rational person is usually someone very analytical, can reason with knowledge and support his or her arguments with facts. Meanwhile, an intuitive person is someone who usually listens to his or her gut feeling. But some researchers argue that this is not as easy as just a gut feeling. Someone intuitive uses experiential patterns and non-conscious recognitioning when listening to this gut feeling. However, easily put, a rational person listens to the head, while an intuitive person listens to the heart. So, when you're taking your big decisions that are deal-breaking for your business, how can you ensure that you take the right decisions? Well, this is something that researchers have discussed, analyzed, and tested throughout many years. And how do you know when to follow your head and when to follow your heart? One critical thing that will affect how you take your decisions is, of course, time. The less time you have, the more likely you are to take an intuitive decision. Therefore, an argument to take intuitive decisions is that it's effective. Pretty uncalled for, but let me tell you, in organizations, there will come times where time is your number one enemy. And researchers argue that you should trust your intuition when you're in a situation filled with uncertainty. Well, now you of course wonder, what does that mean? So, an uncertain situation could mean, again, a lack of time, or a lack of reliability in data collection, or the need to research a lot in order to deal with the situation, which is time and energy consuming. But the researchers haven't come up to an agreement on if being intuitive is a good thing or not, or when specifically it is good. Others argue that it's more worth using if you need to utilize and perform strategies in your business that you already have a clear perspective on. Some also argue that there in most cases always will be techniques and methods to work with that can make an intuitive decision more rational. For example, devil's advocacy. This is explained in the video Common Pitfalls and How to Avoid Them. Or something called the tactic of the 7 whys. This is a method to get to the core reason of a decision. Ask yourself, why do I decide this way? To the answer you give, ask again, why? Doing this 7 times will supposedly get you to the root of the situation. Other researchers, likewise pessimistic to intuition, mean some people like the thrill of taking daring decisions and think they'll get a sense of power and charisma if they take a great decision with only their gut feeling. Very movie-like, I must say. And a fun fact, there exists many examples of business people seen as charismatic because of their risky decision-making, like Chrysler's former CEO, Lot. But, getting back to that uncertain situation I was talking about, there once was this study made on project teams using intuitive judgments in uncertain situations. And they realized that only the individuals who had a lot of experience in the field could actually trust their intuition. Now this is something very relevant for you to hear as a young entrepreneur. This means that you should decide rationally rather than trust your intuition or gut feeling, even if the situation is, as described, uncertain. But maybe you don't have the time or resources to be rational. Maybe intuition and rationality can both exist when taking important decisions. Perhaps finding a supervisor, mentor, or advisory in your area of business should be considered. This person can then help you in these tight situations to take the right decisions using his or her experience to be intuitive when being rational isn't working. Researchers have also argued for the importance of education in order to take these intuitive decisions, and especially in something called rational choice theory. Usually something you learn in business administration. According to these researchers, this will make you better at the role of a decision maker. Easy. Okay, no. Then these researchers realized that while this education in rational choice theory really is great, it's not what all these senior managers and important decision makers rely their decisions on. They often rely their decisions on something called rational engineering. In other words, using techniques, tools, models, and methods to take valid decisions. Apart from the already mentioned devil's advocacy and the tactic 7 whys, studies can recommend decision trees, influence diagrams, and spreadsheet applications. Also, stuff like SWOT analysis is recommended. With these techniques, you're supposed to be able to construct a relevant context to your decision. All in all, as a young entrepreneur, don't listen to your gut feeling. Be smart, be rational. And if you can't be rational, do your best to make the decision rational.